Kim and Lynn Gantt.
Ooh. Ah. Everybody awake now. Okay. How many of you here today are lucky enough to work with your sister? Yeah. Okay, good. Well, we're not. Okay. Everybody thinks we're related. Everybody thinks that we've been attached to the hip forever. We just happen to have the last name, and my husband is convinced that somewhere we're connected, but we haven't figured that out yet. So, but what is really interesting is that Kim has been in the business a little bit longer than I have, a year or two longer than I have. But we came from the same lineage, and so we've kind of been in the same paths for a lot of years. But what's fun and what's really interesting about finding an accountability partner that will work for you is you got to find the yin to your yang, okay? You got to find the right brain, the left brain, okay? Because if you're drawn to people that are like you, you're not going to grow like you need to, and that's what we've discovered and really kind of peeled away over this last year, and we worked really hard at it. So it's kind of funny, those in power, Nancy Joe, that this accountability call comes right at the end, because a lot of the things that we do are set by an agenda, which we're going to go over, but we're also going to go over a legitimate example of something that we do on a call every week, just to give you some ideas, because accountability calls sound good, but how many people have been in one and it's fizzled? Anybody? Or it didn't quite click, or you weren't quite as productive as you thought you wanted to be, and you didn't hit your goals. Well, hopefully some of these things that we'll go over today will help us all really stick to our group and be productive and get what we want out of our accountability groups.
Woo!
So, okay, we'll see.
So we're hoping.
That's right.
In your folder, you're going to have a sheet that says Agenda for Accountability Partner Weekly Calls. So this is the agenda that we go by each week. Lynn was talking about having an accountability partner, and you get on the phone, and how many of you, if you just get on the phone and you don't have a set agenda, you're going to get off topic. One of you's got to be the one to bring it back around, but if that never happens, you've wasted an hour. And you've gotten nothing out of it. So Lynn and I have a specific agenda that we use, and you can tweak this, depending on what you do and how many people you're working with at a time. But the first thing we do is we give each other 5 minutes to discuss frustrations. How many of you have watched a video or started reading The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod?
Woo!
Okay, if you haven't, Google Hal Elrod and just listen to his story. I'm not going to go into details because we don't have time, but he kind of had this horrific car accident and was trying to recover from this and allowed himself 5 minutes every day to get frustrated. Just to kind of talk about everything that wasn't going right or whatever. Only 5 minutes, and if it was something that he could not do to change, he just moved on from it, okay? So we give each other 5 minutes just to kind of get that out, and then we move on to our next topic. 5 minutes each to offer solutions. So if Lynn is telling me, oh my gosh, I'm not on track to meet my sales goals for the month, then I would say, okay, so tell me what you're going to do about it this week. What is your plan for this week? So we help each other come up with some solutions. We also celebrate each other's successes. How many of you spend so much time celebrating with your consultants, but nobody ever celebrates with you? Nobody ever makes you feel good for things that you've accomplished. And I think we need that, so we do that. We review challenges, or we have these different projects that we'll set for each other and completion dates to get these done. So she's going to talk about one of the projects that we set for ourselves. And we set new challenges or an ongoing step with a project for the next week. So that's kind of the way it goes. A couple things we've got listed down here on the bottom will help you pick somebody to work with, or in groups, or however it ends up working out for you. You've got to have respect for each other and each other's time, and you have to be willing to redirect the call when you get off topic. So you start talking about, we have kids that are in college, and then we talk a little bit about that, and then that starts going south, and then one of us will say, whoa, we're getting off topic, and we'll bring each other back on. You need to be able to empower each other, not just be a cheerleader. Partner with somebody that has the opposite strength than you do. I'm stronger in sales, Lynn is stronger in team building. So we just kind of build that off of each other, and I think that works really well. You have to be honest with your partner, and you can't be intimidated by them. Looking in this room, a lot of people here really intimidate me. So, you know, when Nancy Joe says, okay, I'm pairing you up in an accountability group, how many of you went, oh crap? Really? Who is she gonna put me with? Oh my gosh. But when you start getting to know each other, you know, you kind of come down a level. I know at our table, you know, I'm looking at those girls and I'm thinking, holy crap, and there is Stacy Itzel at the end. And then we start talking, and then we just kind of settle down into each other and think, you know what? You know, she puts her nice shoes on like I do too. Okay.
On that topic too, there's always accountability, and we were joking last night because we said, well, if we're not working out well, you'll know it because Nancy Joel put us in opposite tables tomorrow. You know, so when the numbers started being red and number 3 came up and then number 3 came up, we're like, okay, we must still be like, you know, on target. So, you know, that accountability though, that sounds funny, but if it's not effective, if you're not being held accountable, it's a waste of time. So you really, I mean, in here we didn't write this, but don't be afraid to say, I love you as a friend, can we talk next week? But you know, you need to have that flexibility and that trust in the group or your person to say, is this working still? And if it isn't, then that's the time that you can still be friends, but you might need something else in your business. So like, you know, one day Kim will be stronger in sales and I'll be stronger in team building. Next week that could change. So, you know, and that can change in your accountability partners as well. So just, you know, go into it with trust for the other person and your eyes wide open so that you know when it's working and when it's not working. So I guess we're still working. So
You're still, you're my example. No, I'm not pulling you for no way.
Last thing on here says, remind each other that you are capable and well trained. I cannot remember, that has happened so much with us. Sometimes you just need somebody to tell you that. I remember when Lynn was trying to bump up her sales goals, and I think it was 1 month you needed, I can't remember how much you needed to make, maybe you need to sell 7,500 one month or 8,000 one month. Anyway, it was to earn the trip. And she was saying, I've never done it before. I've just never done this before. How am I going to make this happen? And I just told her, I'm like, you know exactly what to do. And you can do this. You're capable of doing this. Mm-hmm. And she didn't say anything for a couple of seconds. And I'm like, Lynn, right there.
I was gone.
She was like, I'm here. I just needed to really hear that. I just need to really take that in and hear that. And she did. She sold more this year than she ever has. So I mean, I think it's
So yeah, you need to hear words that you don't know that you need to hear sometimes. And if you have a trustworthy accountability partner that listens and holds you accountable and that you trust, though that relationship will develop. So it's really healthy. Okay, so what we wanted to go through is an example, because you're probably all thinking somebody was just asking you like the daily challenges, and I look at the Loves and I look at Nancy Joes and everybody else, all these great leaders in here, and you probably are very organized with everything that you do every day, okay? Well, in our mind, that's what we think. Well, guess what? Our last accountability call, which was last year, we started thinking, oh my gosh, it's 2016. We got to start over. We need to get organized. What's our, New Year's resolution, all this stuff. And we're like, heck, we don't even know what we're doing every day, okay? So we said, okay, that's it. That's what we're doing this week. And actually, that took us a couple of weeks. So what we did was we set some parameters, and then it grows too, because your goals will grow with what you're doing. So we set parameters because keep you from being productive and helpful to one another. So what we came up with was a schedule, and we agreed to disagree on the time that we get up. I'm not doing it, you know? So, and that's what we just came up with, okay? Our morning motivation, you know, how do we get on the foot every day? And so it's set a time to get up. You notice there's no time on there. You put your own time in there. Do a devotional every morning, because that helps you look at the glass half full. That helps you know that we are the minute percentage of people that are so incredibly blessed on this planet. You have nowhere to go but up, okay, and to smile. Start with that. Read 10 pages of some sort of book that's going to grow your brain, okay? A lot of us get stuck in these trenches that we can't dig ourselves out of with a bad attitude because we're bored to death in our own brains. So 10 pages, and I'm the one who says I'll be asleep again. But, you know, 10 pages of a book is going to give you some idea that will help you focus something positive that day.
And that came from The Slight Edge. Has anybody read the book, The Slight Edge? Yeah. If you haven't, read it again.
Yeah, she made me order it, now I'm reading it. Okay, so, and then exercise. You know, you want to be healthy. So, in our minds, for us, that works best in the morning. If it doesn't work best in the morning, move it to the night. That's up to you. But these are just guidelines. Okay, so, what does the director's week look like? Okay, fine, I'm out of bed now. That was God. Did y'all hear that?
We all need exercise.
That was a sign.
Yes, it was a sign of some sort. Anyway, so what does our week look like? Okay, some of you are very scheduled. Grace was talking 1 hour, 2 hours. What we decided was that we're going to block our time in blocks of days and the week. So Mondays and Wednesdays are our days to focus on our personal businesses. That's what made sense to us. And we put hours to that. Tuesdays and Thursdays are team days, okay? That's what makes sense to us. Also, I know there's an acronym from a long time ago, and neither one of us could find it or can remember, so y'all can interject if you know what it is. But like, for example, Monday is money. Mondays are for money. Any activity that's going to create you money, closing out shows, that kind of thing. That's what Mondays are for. Inputting receipts for your income and expense report. Money activities are Monday. Tuesday's team day. Check your team calendar. Have your consultants with upcoming shows. Check on them. How are they doing? Consultant coaching calls, appointments, your 2x2 calls. You know, and so forth and so on. You have the list here, so you can read that. That's what we thought. Wednesdays, we couldn't remember the acronym, so we've named it Happy Hump Day, okay? And name it whatever you want. Work at Wednesdays, I heard a little while ago. But Wednesdays, you know, you're going to look at your 2x2 calls, your host package, you're going to be stamping stuff, you know, that kind of thing. Thursday, host coaching. And then you get to Friday, and Friday's freedom, okay? Freedom to catch up on what you didn't get done the rest of the week. It's not a non-work day, but it's a day that you can be a little bit more creative with your time. So it kind of just gives you parameters, and hopefully you can stick these into your calendar and kind of bring that time into focus for yourself. Because if that's not there and it wasn't for us, then we're just all over the place, and we're not being intentional getting our activities into our bags like we saw a minute ago. Then monthly activities are listed there. You can put them wherever you want to in your month. We gave some dates as examples, you know, newsletters and things like that. And then I also added quick tips and clarification calls after Becky's little, you know, spiel. So there'll be things that you'll add to this, but here's your template to start using. Now, all that sounds great, right? How many people in here are visual learners? Okay, that's me. I gotta see it. This list has already put me back in bed again, okay? Yeah, that's my common thing.
That's okay, because she's dragging you out of it. So.
Yeah, exactly. So what I did after we got off the phone on that one, I said, okay, that's great, I know, but I don't like the way it looks. So all I did was went into my calendar on my computer and just put it here. You give each activity a color, okay? Then you can email this to everybody. You can email it to your team. And I'm an advocate, both of us are advocates about not recreating the wheel, okay? If you don't think you're busy now, start recreating every list that you've ever done, and no wonder you aren't productive. So this is already on my calendar, on my computer. I just put these on here in a color, named them work and people and they know what the idea, what the schedule looks like. All right. That is director kind of checklist. All right, so that's the tip of the iceberg. That's what we need to be doing. But what about our consultants?
Okay, consultants need something we thought more simplified. If I had this when I first started, I think it would have really helped me kind of zero in a little more on things that I needed to be doing as a new consultant. So this is an example of a consultant monthly checklist. And well, after the first 90 days. But Lynn, wanted to do, assign every task every day. Like every day had a different task. Well, we know that new consultants aren't going to do, 30 tasks in a month. But it gives them a list of things that they can do. Some things are on here multiple times, so you can kind of tweak that with whatever you want to do. And then down at the bottom, one of my consultants and I listened to, I think there were just a couple people on my team that listened to the call, but do you guys like the tips from the top calls?
Yeah.
I'm so glad they're going to keep doing them. There was a tips from the top call, and I can't even remember who did it a couple weeks ago, and one of my consultants was on the call and asked a question and said, I work full time. So how can I, do you have any tips for helping me fit my business daily into a full-time work schedule? And she gave her this tip was to work 20 minutes every day, Monday through Friday, and what to work on. So that's here at the bottom where it says weekly priorities. Monday, she's going to spend 20 minutes on booking calls. Tuesday, 20 minutes on hostess coaching. Wednesday, recruit follow-up, and if you don't have any recruits to follow up with, do some type of training, and PC University is a great place to start. Thursday, customer care. That's the 2x2x2 calls. And you guys, did y'all hear Debbie Reason talk about that at conference?
It's our PC team.
Yeah.
It's on PC team training too. If you didn't, it's awesome, and it's really good. Friday, new business development. That's for them to decide who they might talk to about a fundraising opportunity. To pick a business that they may want to take, cupcakes to at lunchtime that day or whatever. And then just power hour tips down there. But just something to give your new consultants just to help them keep on track, and something else you can follow up with them about.
So you've got three kind of checklists now. You've got the new consultant checklist that's on PC University. Don't change that. Don't recreate it. It's already there. This checklist that we just were talking about is for those people that have finished their first 90 days and they're like, okay, now what? Okay? Well, guess what? Take this and plug that into your schedule, and then you got your director activities. And to kind of recap, this is only one of many, many, many projects that we've completed this year. So some projects take a week to do, and the way we come up with those, really wasn't on your agenda, but as we're going through the agenda, we might say, you know what, I've heard about this new show type. Have you tried that? No, let's put that on our list. So we have a list of running topics that we want to work on as well. It might be how to tweak our full service checkout. It might be, I'm trying to think of some of the ones that we've done. It's menus. It might be teaching new consultants to do some specific selling techniques. But we've got all these, so every time that we get on the phone again, we're like, okay, how'd you do? How are your numbers? How's your goal? Blah, 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 blah. Okay, here's our update. Okay, what's next week? So you never leave the call without a big focus. And it's always something that both of us want to do. And, it might be something that I want to do, but it's like not in my field of vision right now. And you have to be honest and be able to say, Kim, I love that idea, but I can't do it right now. Can we table that for a while? So it stays on our list of things that we want to accomplish, okay? And then it'll come back up. Hey, we're back to that. Okay, I guess it's time to do that. Okay, Evernote has been one of ours. I mean, there's lots of topics on it. It can be professional development, but it has to be things that you've either heard about, you want to tackle, but you need accountability for. This is the perfect venue to really get down to some of those business forward activities that you always have on your to-do list that you never seem to get to on your own. So I encourage you to think outside the box. Don't be afraid to talk to people to find out who's your yin and who's your yang and who's your right brain and your left brain, because that's really how this has worked great for us. We've known each other for years and years and years, and just this past year, this accountability has really taken us a long way. So
Well, I think they put themselves together more than anything, right? You guys, I mean, I had a little group going, and you guys
Well, and you have groups and some work and some don't, and then it just develops, you know.
Right.
So it just worked. So.
All right.
Okay.
Awesome.